We are truly living in the golden age of the supercar, or the hypercar, I guess you call it. I mean, 1,000 horsepower, that sounds ridiculous. It sounds almost untamable, like you couldn't tame it, but with all the electronics we have now, stability control, traction control, it's not a problem. You just touch the throttle. Yo! It almost feels like all 4 tires are breaking loose. Welcome to another episode of Jay Leno's Garage. Once again, we are visited by automotive royalty. This is the 2021 Ferrari SF90, 900 horsepower, 1,000 horsepower is fair to say. Technological tour de force, 8-speed transmission, twin-turbo V8. This belongs to our good friend David Lee. David is one of the big Ferrari collectors, and he always seems to have the latest and the greatest. And this one is fascinating to me for a couple of reasons. The main one, which I'm impressed, is the fact that even though this is the fastest, most powerful road-going Ferrari you can get, it is hundreds of thousands of dollars less than the LaFerrari or the Enzo was in its day. This shows you the efficiency of manufacturing and packaging. You know, I think that's, look, it's a tremendous amount of money. I know that. It's a ridiculous amount of money. But it's progress. I love the fact that it's cheaper than the cars that came before it, and it's faster and it's better. So that, to me, that's always progress. Let's bring David in to tell us about. David, come on in. David Lee.
Hey Jay, how you doing?
How many Ferraris is this now? How many you got?
Oh, like 30, I guess.
Yeah, you got a whole bunch. You got a whole bunch. I imagine even you are impressed with this one, aren't you?
I really am, you know, because all the other ones, when, you know, they come out, it's faster. You get in there, you need no tutorial. You just go and you just drive, right?
Right.
This one is like a new generation iPhone. Wow, there's all these things that you got to start to look at, all the different screens. It's all digital inside. You'll see.
And I think it's it's not the first Ferrari to have four-wheel drive.
No.
But certainly first performance Ferrari to have four-wheel drive.
Yes.
And I'm told, although I haven't driven it yet, but I will, that the steering is just amazing. That was always the thing that put me off to a lot of four-wheel drive. It just, you know, I've always been impressed with every modern Ferrari I've driven, and they're just amazing, amazing vehicles. Those brakes are massive. Oh my God, look at that. Look at the size. It's literally the size of the wheel. And those are carbon composites, is that what it is?
Carbon composites,
yeah.
Yep.
And again, 8-speed transmission, dual clutch, of course.
Right.
And this one has the extra racing package,
Yes,
right?
yes.
This is all carbon fiber, not standard on
Right,
the,
right. You got the racing stripes called Cento Ferriano.
Right.
So a lot of use of carbon fiber then inside and outside. But the amazing thing is this hybrid. It's a real hybrid. You know, the LaFerrari that you drove before, mainly still a lot of engine, a little bit the electric motor kind of assisting it, not really driving in a full electric mode.
Right.
This one, you actually you can drive about 16 miles on full electric if you want.
Right.
And on the hybrid mode, you're going to find that the electric part kicks in a lot, and you got a quiet Ferrari.
And it plugs in as well.
Plugs in, got one side, and you got the gas on the other side.
Right. Interesting. The thing that amazed me, and we'll get a shot of this a little later, is how low that engine, I mean, that is way, way down there.
Yeah, exactly. That's the first thing I noticed. It's way down there. And then you got also the 3 electric motors with all the batteries, and it just makes the car really
and
low.
Where are the 3? Do you have one?
So there's 2 that are in front of the front wheel, and then one in the center like this.
Okay, and that spins the transmission?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so like the P1 McLaren, that type of thing, yeah.
That's right.
And a good-looking car. I'm not a big fan of the atomic insect look that a lot of Italian cars have now.
Right.
I like curves. I like this, you know. I mean, there's not a straight line on this thing. Every part of it just curves. It's very, and it's a kind of car that you can catch. It'll look new for a long, long time. You know, when you look at a Countach, it looks like the mid-'80s, and it'll always look like, it'll always be the mid-'80s.
Yeah.
Whereas this, again, I always sneak the F1 in here. The F1 looks timeless, and this I like. I don't like that, like a lot of people thought, oh, I'm not crazy about it. I like the style of it. I like it. It's a fun car to wash. You know? You take that sponge and you move it over all the curves.
It's got a flow.
It's really quite attractive.
It's an attractive car for sure. I really like it.
it seems smaller than the LaFerrari in the end. So
It is.
Is it smaller? Actually
Yeah,
smaller?
it's smaller. Yeah, 3,500 pounds. But it's smaller and it's tight. It feels like you're really tight in there. Not tight being that it's small in space, but like you feel the drive experience is really tight.
Well, I mean, 3,500 pounds for a hybrid is light.
Yeah.
I mean, most tend to, like my Countach, obviously 1986, it has no turbos, no electric motor.
Right.
It's 4,000 pounds. Wow. You know, so,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
has more than double the horsepower
Right.
and quadruple the technology, and it weighs less. I mean, yeah.
You're right, and also with this, the SF90 Stradale, there's the regular one, and then there's this race package one, Ascento Fiorano, which is 90 pounds lighter. But like you said, if you have a big lunch.
Yeah, skip a couple of lunches. Yeah. You driving instead of me driving, it makes it lighter. But I like that Ferrari doesn't rest on their laurels. They always come up with new and better and faster, which is sort of their ethos, I guess.
Right.
You know, I mean, it's really exciting that they've gone to this hybrid four-wheel drive, because, you know, it seems like Porsche's kind of stuck in the 911. It has to be a 911.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Where they're not afraid to take a chance and, hey, we're going to go to four-wheel drive. Okay. You know, I mean, it doesn't seem Ferrari-ish four-wheel drive.
Right.
But I'm told the steering is so light and so good you don't even notice it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, they're saying that this 0 to 60, 2.5 seconds. I mean, that's incredible numbers, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, that's truly faster than. Well, it's certainly faster than racing cars from even 20 years ago. Very nice. Let's open the door here. Let's see. And of course, that classic Ferrari interior. I love this look with these seats. This harkens back to the Daytona from the early 70s. The sort of the pattern in here.
Yeah, the Daytona seats.
Yeah.
And then with the carbon, do you like the carbon fiber kind of tub? It's a new seat. So, because the other ones are behind it, you can't see it, the carbon fiber seats. But these now extrude outside a little bit. You can really see the carbon fiber. I kind of like it. I kind of like that you can see.
I like that the steering wheel has gotten less busy.
Yeah.
I remember some of the earlier models. It was like there were so many switches and controls. You know, whereas this looks a little simpler that way.
Well, there's a lot of so this is the whole digital platform that's going to be a big departure. You're going to see. There's no, like you said, levers or anything, barely any, and everything is going to be digital. A
lot of carbon fiber, but a lot of aluminum too is what keeps the cost down. Because, you know, in the normal Ferrari trajectory, this would be 1.8 million. And if it was, they probably could get it because it is the fastest road-going Ferrari you get. But they don't. They lower the price down. I mean, I think the base is what, 600,000.
Right.
And of course, it's crazy. It's crazy. I know. But the idea that it's not just Arab sheiks and you know, well, not that makes it attainable, but it makes it more. I mean, it's moving in the right direction. I mean, I appreciate the fact that they built a car this quality, this speed, this technology for a lesser price than the last time that they did.
Yeah.
And I think that shows that they want customers, and they want to sell cars. It's not just going to the select few, you know.
Right.
Although that's still the select few.
Sure.
But you know what I mean.
Yep.
You know what I mean. Yeah.
No, I'm surprised they priced it this way, because it is much. I mean, it's like half of what it would have been. They could have charged.
Exactly. Let's come around to the back. Let's show them what we're talking about. Does this open up? Can we see the engine?
Yeah, sure.
Sealed?
Sure. Let me go ahead and do that. And then there's like a little lever that.
Very high tech.
There you go.
Well, look how low that engine is. You know, this is real engineering. I get annoyed a lot of times when I see modern supercars that are just old-fashioned. I mean, they look great on the outside, you know, style-wise and all that. But they don't even have dual-clutch transmissions, and they got big V12s. It's like, you know, whereas this is such an engineering tour de force. I mean, there's real science here that really makes it exciting to drive and to look at. Look how low that is. My God, that looks like a Formula One car down on the ground.
Right.
We have a tool for working on Duesenbergs. It looks like a lounge chair, but it slides under the car, and so you lie on it, and then you work on it like this. Because boy, that is tricky to get to. And of course, the old-fashioned. You can't beat the stick. It's just the stick. There's not two gas struts or any of that nonsense. Boy, yeah, this is really, really brilliant. And
impressive, right?
It's very impressive.
Yeah.
It's just each one is so different than the one that came before it, and it's such an improvement. Ferrari's never been one to do just a wheel and stripe pack. Oh, this is the new model, and they stripe it or they do something. I mean, this is so different from LaFerrari to LaFerrari from Enzo.
Right.
The new Roma. I mean, they're really just doing amazing work and amazing engineering and staying at the top of their game. This is one of the most impressive cars I've seen in a long time, because I just expected it to be $2 million, for goodness sakes. I mean, it's still crazy money. I know that people do. I know, but I'm just saying the fact that they can sell it for less than what they should charge is a testament that they want to get them out there into people's hands, and I think that's really very cool.
Well, Jay, what do you, I was always thinking, how are they going to get more power? So it's a 4-liter V8 twin turbo,
Right.
3 electric motors. So it seemed like, wow, they're adding on more layers and layers of how complicated those components are to make this car go as fast as it goes. But how's your feelings about all that?
Well, I mean, as you move into this new era of stricter and stricter emissions, you can only lean out gasoline and air so much. You've got to come up with other ways of propulsion. So, the internal combustion engine is not the end of its life, but it's past the halfway point. And we're just at the beginning of exploring what we can do with electricity, bigger, faster, whatever, When you look at the electric motor in my 1909 Baker Electric, it's just about the same size as a modern Tesla or any of this other. So now they're learning to make them smaller and more efficient. And I'm sure there'll be a point where there'll be an electric car with this kind of hybrid technology under 3,000 pounds, or maybe even under 2,500 pounds. So it's good to see the Ferrari is keeping the old school, the noise, the engine, whatever, because a lot of European cities, you can't even have a gas car in the city. They want to have electric only, so you just throw the switch and you drive through town in your Ferrari, not annoying anybody and making noise. I mean, I have to admit, even I get annoyed when I go to some of these supercar Sundays. And guys come in Lambos with like open pipes, and neighbors are yelling, and they want to cancel the car show. So it's good, and this is really impressive. I would really like to see you could do a book about the engineering on this car. It's really something.
Well, the wives really like it because you can pull out of the garage early in the morning for your car show on the electric mode, and it doesn't. It doesn't wake it up the neighbors, right?
Right, and also the husband doesn't hear you sneaking out as he's coming in. You can sneak out the back way. So it's good.
Well, it is Italian,
Very Italian. That's very Italian. To sneak out before the husband comes home, not making the noise. No, it's really. Now you have your own YouTube channel, so people want to see all your Ferraris. What is the name?
So it's Ferrari Collector David Lee channel, YouTube channel, and
Ferrari Collector David Lee. How did you come up with that name?
I don't know.
It's so original. Ferrari Collector David Lee.
It's like really just to the point.
Just type that in, and you can see all your Ferraris, and it's a very impressive collection, and it's a smart collection. You have all the good ones and the cool ones and some of the older ones. I mean, it's well thought out because you like to drive and you like to use them, and you let me drive it, which is it's amazing to me. So you're not just a guy who collects them and piles them in the corner. You drive them all.
Well, I want, Jay, for my channel, I want to share as the owner, the driver experience. That's more than a lot of times, the influencers. When the car companies give them the cars a review, they don't really know how the car drives or how it reacts and how it compares to the prior model. So I'm hoping to bring that perspective.
Yeah, I think that's great. Actual owner perspective. So. Yeah. Well, very cool. Show anything on the interior. Let's take a look at that again.
And then there's also the trunk, which I can.
A trunk. I can't imagine how.
You want to see how that is? Okay. So that's in the front. Okay, so they give you a little bit of a, give you a little space here for storage.
Oh yeah,
there
yeah.
you go.
So if you want to bring like a thing of Tic Tacs,
Yeah, you
just put them right in there. Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it.
And these are your charge plugs there.
Yeah, and this car really needs to be charged because you know this new technology. If you don't have charge, then the car's stuck. So
Right.
it really needs to be charged.
Now, do you plug it in? Do you leave it on every night? Do you plug it in every day? Is that
yeah,
that's
it's got to
the
be.
idea?
Yeah, this is. I've discovered you have to be every day. You got to plug that in.
Yeah, just leave it on the charger all the time. Okay.
Right, right.
Now, if you use up, obviously it has regen, right?
Yeah. So if you there's a regen, like if you the motor part of it, the combustion part of it, if that motor's on, it will charge.
Right. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you use once you use up all 16 miles?
Right.
You don't lose that amount of electricity horsepower-wise, right? It's not deducted from 1,000 until it builds it back up again. When you're driving it, it remains constant.
Well, so it depends. You know, there's 4 modes in there. There's the all-electric mode, which
Right.
if you do that, you'll use up all the electric.
Sure.
And then there's the hybrid, which the computer decides how it's using. But it seems like, from my experience, it uses a lot of electricity mode. And then there's the more power mode, and then the extra power mode.
Right.
But like you said, Jay, if from my experience, if it does uses up all the electricity and there's no electricity part of it in there anymore, range, then you won't get the electric boost.
Right. I got you.
So ideally, it's fully charged, and then if you use it on the performance mode, then it will kick in where it
So
needs
if you
to.
leave your house fully charged, and you drive around, you get on it, you get off it, you get on it, you get off it, you still have almost. It'll recycle normally that way, unless you're just doing power runs all day. Then
Right.
Okay, yeah, like anything else.
Yeah.
Sure. I get it. Very cool.
Yeah. So that's the storage they gave you.
And what is this piece here? This is.
Well, this is that's part of the charger. So there's the 2 lights.
I see. Boy,
And it's a lot smaller too. Remember the LaFerrari one was bigger.
Yeah,
a lot
yeah,
bigger.
yeah.
So now they've condensed and made it smaller.
Well, that's amazing, because I have a P1, but it has that. Big,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That big unit.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's smaller.
That's unbelievable. This is 110 you do, or you do
110.
220? Okay.
So far, they only have the 110.
Oh, only 110.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, and also very important that I hope that people, when they watch this video, they know, because it's been an issue that a lot of people didn't know, and the car is so new. You cannot use the extension cord to plug that into.
Right.
If you do it, it doesn't recharge.
Yeah.
And then the car would die, and then that's a problem.
Right, because these are thick wires,
Right.
so you need that much. You have a thin wire. It's like trying to fill up something using a small.
Right. It just doesn't work. Yeah.
Okay. And what is this here?
So there's for the flat tire.
Oh yeah, that's stupid cannon.
Yeah. That's that, and then the fuse and the kind of the gear here. Yeah.
Boy, this is incredibly light. Look at that.
Yeah, it's all carbon fiber and.
Will the Charify?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, let's take her for a spin. See
Yeah.
what she does.
All right.
This is the quietest I've ever been in a Ferrari. David, I'll see you in a few days. Thanks. It's very fast. Well, the steering is very nice. I mean, this is what Ferrari does best. Steering, road feel. I mean, it's impressive. Wow. Makes you smile. And great steering wheel, great feel. And you've got a red line in the top of the wheel here, which is kind of cool. Looks like the red line's about 8,300, which is impressive. It's amazing how fast this technology is moving. You know, I don't know if it mentions before, I was looking at that charging unit. It's this big. My McLaren is, what, 5-6 years old now. And the charger is this big, just an enormous thing. And so it's happening pretty fast. and that's, you know, that's 3,000 RPM. That's nowhere near what this thing is capable of. Gee, boy, at full torque. 0 to 60 in 2.5. That's unbelievable. I mean, 1,000 horsepower. Well, 986. That's exactly what it is, which is just unbelievable. I mean, I remember when even drag cars barely had that. I would not know that these front wheels were being engine driven. I mean, it's that good. You know, I like extremes. I like either old school or this, where it's as high tech and every electronic thing is possible. So easy to drive, just flick those pedals. It is so easy to drive fast. You know, this thing is like being the fastest gun in the West. Everybody's gunning for you. It's amazing how seamlessly all this technology blends together. You know, this is what I love about modern supercars like this, like the P1 McLaren. You know, a lot of cars can be brutish and have horsepower, and you know, but this does it so seamlessly. The science is so nicely integrated. It shifts bang, 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 just like that. It's just fantastic. I mean, it feels like it's hardly working at all. Oh, I hate to give this back to David, but I suppose I have to. I certainly appreciate letting him drive it. That's what's great about David. He's a collector who likes to share. He loves the stuff. He likes to let other people experience it, which is what I like to do. You know, if I go to car shows and stuff, I always let the kids sit in my cars, the Countach or the Corvettes, whatever it might be. Although I noticed something really strange now. I noticed a lot of young kids, they don't want to, they're scared to sit in the car. When I was 7, 8, 9 years old, if somebody let me sit in his Ferrari, or in my case it was a Jaguar XK120, I was like, oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever heard. I see kids go, no, I don't know. You know, I don't know. It's like kids are afraid of their own shadows now. You know, they're not invincible like we thought we were. I don't know. Maybe it's just getting old. Maybe just an old guy complaining. But I see that. You know, I was at a car show last week. I had my '63 Stingray, and this kid's going, oh wow. And I said, you want to sit? He goes, no, I don't want to. I said, you can. No. He just didn't want to do it. Yeah. I thought, really? Okay. I mean, his dad was there and everything. You know, I was like, all right. The ride is fantastic. Suspension is nice, and I'm in sport mode. It's not beating me up at all. We are truly living in the golden age of the supercar, or the hypercar, I guess you call it now. I mean, 1,000 horsepower. That sounds ridiculous. It sounds almost untamable, not unattainable, untamable, like you couldn't tame it. But with all the electronics we have now, stability control, traction control, it's not a problem. And you don't obviously get a lot of wheel spin with this thing because all 4 wheels are grabbing. So it launches. It's just amazing. You just touch the throttle. Yo! It almost feels like all 4 tires are breaking loose. The controls are nice. I love, you know, my Ford GT, I always have to look at the steering wheel to find the button. With this, I just move my thumb to change direction, like that. Again, I want to thank David Lee for this opportunity. Check out his new YouTube channel. He's just putting it together, so give it a shot, see what you think. He's got a lot of cool stuff. David, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. I can even forgive him for not wearing sunglasses. it.